Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to be going over another one of my writings. So, this one is called A Life in Motion. I actually wrote this for my English class, and I'm going to be sharing it with you right now. Humanity is not fixed. Life is an active mode of transport, an ever changing process that does not halt in the stead of thought or action, but instead grows more whole, elevated by the strength and presence of both. So, why do we try to place ourselves in a box? A box of set perception formed from past experiences, thought, or actions. Why do we try to define ourselves by a single fixed moment, a single fixed thought, or a single fixed image? What I mean by this is that if humanity is such a fluid thing, if we aren't just this moment, the last moment that occurred, or the future moment that is going to happen, if these things all mix into a pot and we are more than just our past experiences or our successes or achievements, right? Why do we use these things that we achieved in the past in order to define a essentially limitless self, right? Why do these things that we say last night you had something happen to you or you chose to do something that you didn't like, why do you then identify with it and try to put a box of understanding of who you are based on that? And of course, it's not going to be just one thing. It's going to be multiple aspects of your day or multiple aspects of your week or month that you group into this sort of like perception of who you are, right? And then you define yourself based on these things, or you try to come to an understanding of yourself based on these things. But in essence and truth, sometimes you won't ever be able to fully understand or know yourself. Surely it only does a disservice to our innate and beautiful gift of change. We are meant to grow, we are meant to feel pain and suffering, to rejoice in good times, and to become sorrowful in harsh ones. We are not singular but flowing, constantly moving no matter how slow. Life is not a lake nor a pond, but a river, constantly singing its song. You could meet this river once, for a moment, and see it for what it is, yet return just an hour later and find that it is no longer the same river, and you are no longer the same person. I referenced this from a famous philosopher. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting his name, but essentially the quote goes like this: A man walks into a river. A man at this one point in time walks into this river at the same point in time. Then he comes back, walks into the same river as essentially what we perceive as the same man. But this river has flown. No longer is the same water running through this river. It is fundamentally a different aspect of life, of a stream of water. And he has also gone through changes in his life. He is no longer the same man, same person, same individual that he was when he first stepped foot in that river. Therefore, all of these things that we perceive as set definitions or like concrete moments in our life, right? They're just a building block to something higher, to something more, not higher, to something more. And essentially, until we die, there will never be a cease of that more. It's going to always happen. The next moment is always going to come until you die. And so I think if you're trying to define yourself either by good things or bad things, it does a disservice to change, because by saying I'm this in an absolute tone, or I'm this in an absolute tone, that's essentially effectively putting a halt to the change, because you're saying I'm this, I can never be this. And so you're stopping yourself from the ability to experience growth by saying I'm I'm weak, I'm only strong, I'm a kind person only, I'm a mean person only. These things, even those good qualities, they're stopping you from experiencing a reality where you become more due to your growth that is innate and inevitable in your life. We are as vast as the universe as a whole, yet in comparison, as small as an ant. To fully know oneself is insufficient and ultimately a lie. To wholly define yourself in a single moment is to forsake growth and to forsake change. Again, this is piggybacking off of what I just said. to wholly and absolutely define yourself in one moment fixed in time in a ever flowing and ever changing reality, right? This is only doing a disservice to your innate beautiful ability to change as a person. Humanity loves certainty, fears the unknown, and grows angered at what it cannot control. In an effort to own our lives, we seek to label ourselves in a finite and solid picture, when in reality, the essence of our humanity is a film, an ongoing dialogue with only one ending: death. And I use this in my writing. I honestly don't know. No one knows if death is the ultimate ending. At least I think that. No one has. I'm going to get. I'll go over that in another video. I just think that truth is very extremely subjective to the human experience. And things that we see and perceive as reality or truth usually are not the end of what is. So seek no longer to know yourself fully, for it is impossible. If you truly believe you know yourself in completion, in an absolute tone, you are only impairing your ability to grow and to push forward. You may want to dig your heels in to make it easier for yourself, but the flow of time waits for no one. Sneaky Rengoku quote. Do not diminish your ability to grow. Seek an understanding of who you wish to become, and then follow it wholeheartedly. Instead of grasping onto who you are, or who you know you are, in an absolute manner, instead proposing a blueprint or a path you want to follow that ultimately leads to who you want to become, and not saying you already are that person. You're already this absolute, set in stone persona or identity. By putting something you want to be out of reach, it gives you a blueprint, a clear, sometimes troubleful or troubling, and path that endures suffering, but it gives you something to look at that you can reference who you want to become with. And so therefore, by saying I want to become this person instead of saying I just am, you're going to influence your mind to therefore gravitate towards those qualities of the person who you wish to become. Then it's not impairing your ability to grow. If you do, this mindset will fuse with direction, purpose, and fulfillment. Your vision will act as a light in the dark. The stars shine because darkness fills the void around them. If you find yourself trapped or frightened by the darkness that surrounds you, it may be because you are the light that you have been searching for all along. This is to say that due to this fact of us not knowing what we are, not being able to fully understand who we are, if you feel scared or you feel lost because of that, because you gravitate toward these moments in the past, and now that you understand this, it seems like that doesn't matter. You inevitably are the good that you want to see. You have the capability, you have the power in your hand to shape your life, to become the person that you want to become, and to do the things that you've always wanted to do. You have this power innately. We're humans. We have choices that we can make. We have the power to act on our thoughts, to act on our impulses, our decisions, right? And so, this darkness that fills you, if you think, your life is ruled by so many other things, if you're becoming scared or anxious or stressed out, usually, if you're only seeing dark around you, it's because you are the thing that is going to save you. Nothing else is going to come and rescue you from your life, because it is, at the end of the day, your life. To understand that life is coming from you and not at you takes time. This is a quote by Timothée Chalamet. But once you grasp this, you begin to see yourself as a whole rather than a fraction frozen in time. Thank you. Oh, shoot. Thank you. So what I want you to take away from this video is that if you are constantly defining yourself by these past experiences or past thoughts even that you had, or you're putting yourself in this absolute uh, cage where you're saying, I am this person, or I am not this person, right? These absolute perspectives that you have, then you're only going to impair and stunt your ability to grow into the person who you want to become. Even if you think you are enough right now, and if you think you are completed, your life is going to go on and things are going to happen to you that will fundamentally change the way that you live. So, in that sense, you can never fully be complete, nor will you ever fully know yourself because you're not able to predict the future. And so, by saying that you know yourself, by saying that these things are absolute and complete, you're only going to impair again and stunt your ability to grow as an individual, to overcome the challenges, to better adapt to your situations and your surroundings. Life is such a beautiful thing, and our ability to grow is also such a beautiful thing. And so I beg of you, please do not forsake this gift that you have been given. Just an innate gift of change. Think of a two-dimensional shape that you write on paper. That doesn't go through changes. It doesn't have time affected unless the paper, uh, composts and falls apart. But that drawing that you made is not fundamentally going to change until outside sources affect it that it has no control over. And that may seem like it's you, but you have control over the things that you say to yourself. You have the control over the things that you do in life. You have control, you have the ability to save yourself. This 2D shape, this 2D drawing, cannot come out of the page and create its life. You can. And so please, do something that you've been wanting to do today. If you want to eat a certain food, just go out and do it. Like, if you've not been wanting to eat a certain food because you know it's unhealthy and you don't want to become unhealthy, then don't do it. These same actions of who you want to become. If you want to become someone who goes on a diet, say just goes on a diet, or you want to be strong, take those actions, gravitate towards those actions that will aid you in becoming that person. Don't say, I am that person, right? Because if you say, oh, I'm just absolutely that person, I'm completed already, then the traits, you're not a complete person. So then you're denying yourself of kind of inputting or taking in these traits that would help you become a stronger person, a more healthy person. And so by forsaking these things, you're closing them off. You're closing the door on them. They're no longer able to come into your life. And so you're going to reject them because you already think you're complete, when really you can never be complete. Life is always going to change. Life is always going to shift. Your life, your thoughts, your perspectives, your beliefs, they're always going to undergo change. Unless you shut that door. And by shutting that door, you're forsaking change. And change is such a beautiful thing that we should not forsake. So I beg of you, as a 16-year-old boy, right? Do what you want to do. It doesn't matter if you're 50, it doesn't matter if you're 60 or 70. Do what you want to do. Gravitate towards the person you want to become. At 70, your life is not over. At 80, your life is not over. At 90, your life is not over. You can still change and shape your life and become the person, become something beautiful. Right? Your life is not over, at least this physical life is not over, until you die. So until then, you have all the power right in your hands, in your body, in your legs, in your toes and your feet. You can move. You have 2 arms. I assume you have 2 arms. If you don't, I'm very sorry. But there's still things that you can do. It's not like you're not able to live your life and grow as a person. You can still do these things that are innate and beautiful. So, thank you. Thank you for watching. I'll link my accounts in the description, and I have previous videos you can watch. Have an amazing day.